Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to go over the latest short film that I shot called The Ghost of D.B. Cooper and why this is the most challenging short film that I've shot to date. So this was a low budget production, so most of the gear that we had was either mine or borrowed from friends. We shot on the Blackmagic Pocket 6K with the Helios 44-2, the Mir 37, and the Mamiya 80mm. And then we also used the Nero 1.5x anamorphic adapter from Blazar. This was my first time using this adapter on a production and it was amazing. A little rough around the edges, but that's what I like about the anamorphic look anyways. So moving on, I did have a few filters that I used to get the desired look that we wanted. Before I go into the filters, I'll go into the conversation that the director had about the look that he envisioned. And so basically he told me that he wanted the movie to be dark enough to where somebody would complain that they can't see. Now that's kind of wild because being a DP, I'm usually lighting to bring attention to where you want to draw the eye, but I really have to appreciate the way that he let me interpret his vision. And so what I ended up coming up with after a series of tests is a combination of filters, one being the Tiffin Ultracon 1. This filter is great because it lowers the contrast of your image, but it doesn't affect or bloom the highlights at all. So this was basically the starting point for every lens. And then as well, I use the 1/8 black mist filter for the Tilta Mirage matte box made by Vexus. And so these two filters in combination really set the tone for the look. I know with the vintage lenses that we were using, you can get a lot of nice blooming and things like that. However, we had planned to shoot everything at a 5.6. The reason why we went with a 5.6 for most of the shots is because we noticed that in most older Hollywood movies, which is what he wanted to replicate, is that they seldomly used shallow depth of field, you know, ripping the lens wide open, partly because at the time when you combined the technology of those lenses wide open with film, you did not get desirable results. I think the sentiment back then was trying to get the sharpest, cleanest image possible, and shooting at a 5.6 allowed that. But as well as on these bigger sets in Hollywood, there was a lot of production design that went into it, and shooting at a 5.6 really allows you to see a little bit into the distance and really adds to the image in my opinion. And so that's why we shot at 5.6 for the majority of this production, and that really took away a lot of the characteristics that these lenses do provide. So adding back these filters to give a little bit of that look definitely helped the vibe of the film. So now that I got that technical stuff out the way, I want to go over what made the shoot challenging. For this shoot, the most challenging part by far was having to deal with the day for night, as well as the director wanting to have rain in the windows in most of the shots. Now I know that there's pretty simple, straightforward ways to do this, but being so low budget and not having the materials as well as the biggest rain rig available kind of made it a challenge, and it really ate up a lot of time on set just because we were trying to figure it out and dial it in. And even though we didn't get it 100%, I think that we got it close enough to where we could work with it in post. With all that being said, this was an amazing production to work on. I love challenging myself and getting into new territory when it comes to filmmaking, and this short film definitely did that for me. This is by far the darkest film that I've ever shot, and so as nervous as I was when I got the footage back into post, I could relax because all the footage turned out, my ratios were on point, and most importantly, the director loved the images we were able to create that day. And so I did my job as the DP. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for checking it out. If you have any questions or if you have any on-set stories from times that you had to step out of your comfort zone, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them. Thanks, and until next time.
Yeah, we are shooting ProRes, right?